When people think of the search for Sita, one image dominates the story: Hanuman's leap across the ocean. But to even reach that shoreline, an exhausted, starving army of warriors had to survive a grueling march across an uncharted continent. Someone had to organize that expedition. Someone had to keep it from collapsing under the weight of constant failure. That leader was Angada, a young prince grieving the recent loss of his father. Focusing on the final hero who crossed the water overlooks the agonizing logistical reality of how that search party made it to the coast at all. King Sugriva's mandate was clear, yet impossible. Find one captive in the vast ancient world with zero leads or directional cues. Without a target, the search grid expands in every direction simultaneously. Every passing day drains resources, while the probability of success drops towards zero. The southern expedition contained Kishkindha's most elite warriors, titans like Hanuman, Nila, and Jambavan. Yet Sugriva placed the untested youth Angada in command over all of them. Placing a kid in charge of heavyweights was a calculated risk. Sugriva saw a capacity for restraint and maturity in Angada, testing whether the prince could lead through character rather than brute physical dominance. Moving south meant leaving familiar geography behind. The expedition entered dense, hostile forests and hidden valleys where every shadow masked a new physical threat. The physical toll compounded rapidly. The warriors navigated towering mountain ranges and crossed wide rivers, all while daily rations dwindled toward outright starvation. The psychological friction was even more dangerous. Older, vastly more experienced warriors began to doubt the mission, and Angada had to maintain authority over men who could easily overpower him. Instead of issuing rigid commands to force compliance, Angada established a partnership with the elder sage Jambavan. The young commander actively sought out and applied the veteran's advice. Guiding a team of experts through a survival scenario requires a leader willing to listen and adapt. Arrogance fractures a starving team, while humility keeps it cohesive. Eventually, the mission reached its breaking point. Weeks passed without a single clue. With fatigue breaking their bodies, open whispers of surrender spread. At this absolute failure point, Angada refused to let the expedition dissolve. He absorbed the collective despair and forced the team to keep moving, holding the fractured unit together through sheer willpower. Because they stayed in the field one more day, they stumbled into a breakthrough. The search party encountered Simpati, the aged brother of Jatayu. Notice how this reshapes the map. Simpati possessed the single piece of intelligence no one else had, the exact location of Sita in Lanka. The objective shifts to a targeted strike, revealing a massive ocean separating them from their target. Discovery requires presence. By refusing to retreat, Angada kept his team in the one place where a breakthrough could occur. Had they turned back a day earlier, the information they needed would have remained out of reach. Staring across that ocean, a lesser commander might have tried to cross it himself to claim the glory of finishing the impossible mission. Angada assessed the physical limits of his team and accurately recognized his own. He stepped back from the final action, focusing entirely on the objective rather than personal fame. That delegation created the space for Jambavan to remind Hanuman of his dormant strength. Hanuman accepted the challenge, and the legendary leap became possible. Angada had successfully navigated a starving army across a continent. He stood on the shore as a commander who had earned the trust of his peers through the sheer survival of his mission. We often celebrate the explosive, individual spark of a hero, but that spark requires a launchpad, built by the quiet, resilient logistics of a leader who holds the pieces together in the dark. Yet Angada's ultimate test was still waiting. Soon, he would have to walk completely unarmed and entirely alone into the hostile court of Ravana to deliver an ultimatum. To see how Angada navigates the court of Ravana, like this video and subscribe to NAS100 Veda. Hit the bell icon to ensure you never miss our next exploration into the forgotten heroes and ancient mysteries of the past.